Hey guys, Goiger Plus back time work today. And this is my first time doing two videos in the last two. Like this is my first time doing a video each day for 2 days in a row, in like a long time it feels like. But I'm glad to be here for the college football finals prediction. Um, Actually, I need to look at. I want to look at like the whole college football playoffs to see how my prediction record has been so far. So I think. Let me see. So I know I picked Texas to win. I picked. Okay, well this isn't the first round, right? Where? Oh. Okay, so I don't know why it's ordered like most recent to least recent. Then the game that's about to happen. That's very stupid. But I picked Notre Dame correctly. Why is it ordered like this? This is okay. Whatever. So I got Notre Dame's prediction correct. I got Penn State right, and that's it, because I got Clemson and Tennessee wrong. And then for the second round, I picked Notre Dame to beat. Well, no, this is wrong. This is all sucks. This order completely sucks. But this should be the second round, right? And then, yeah, I picked Texas right. I think I picked Ohio State. Yeah, I picked Ohio State, and I picked Georgia, which was wrong, and I picked Penn State, which was right. So I was like 3-1 in round 2, and in round 1, I was. Dang, this is just so confusing. I think I was 2-2 in round 1, 3-1 in round 2, and then in the semifinals, I was right on both. So. That makes my total record, so it'd be 5-3, and then 2-0. So 7-3. So that's actually pretty good for my first college football playoff prediction videos. But what really matters is the finals prediction. In my complete bracket prediction overall, where I predicted every single game, I picked Georgia and Oregon to make it to the finals, and neither of them even made it to the semifinals. So we're not going to talk about that though. I'll have a Georgia and Falcons full season review coming at some point before the offseason, at least. Well, actually, that's not really true, because the offseason for college football is in a couple days, and it's not coming out because I have to do my mock draft next. But what we need to focus on right now is Ohio State versus Notre Dame, the Natty. Last time in the national championship, I picked Washington over Michigan and got that one completely wrong. Maybe I'm a bad curse, because the team I'm going to pick, this Natty, might be a little bit worried that I might jinx them into a loss. But Ohio State, to start, the 8th seed, really the only reason they're this low is because of their loss to Michigan. I mean, they only have 2 losses. One to Oregon early in the season by 1, and to Michigan in the last game of the regular season by 3. And then blew out blew out Tennessee, blew out Oregon, and blew out Texas. I mean, I know the Texas game was close for most of it, but it's still a blowout by definition. They've murdered every team they've played against in the playoffs. I mean, just defensive masterclasses is what we've seen. So, I mean, I remember the Ohio State that played against Georgia a few years back that couldn't stop a nosebleed, but now they're stopping every team in their tracks. They've allowed 21 points maximum in their last 5 games. And they are the heavy favorite to win this game. Favored by 8.5. That's about 2 scores in the national championship game. You know, most Natties aren't even really that close anyway. But listen, man, Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins are both amazing running backs. Jeremiah Smith is an insane athlete. Will Howard's a really good quarterback. Their defense as a whole is insane, including Caleb Downs and Tuimoloau, I think his name is. There's just a ton of insane players on this Ohio State team. It's one of the best rosters we've ever seen in college football. And the fact that they even lost to Michigan is insane. But they have a chance to win their first national championship since 2009? Wait, no, 2002. I think it's 2002. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter exactly what day it is. I mean, what year it is. I know they won like 1 or 2. I think they won 1 in 2002 and 1 in 2000. It was one 2002 and then one later. Anyway, looking with the third natty in the last, well, in this century, I guess. And last time they went to the natty, I think they got murdered by Alabama. They had Justin Fields at that time, and I think Alabama had Mac Jones. I think it was the pandemic season. And last time they were in the playoffs was in 2022 against Georgia. We won by 1 point when they had C.J. Stroud, which was also an amazing roster. That Ohio State team was insane. The fact that they lost to us just proved how good Georgia was that year, too. Anyway, let's move on to Notre Dame, who's actually ranked higher. Notre Dame has 1 loss this season. And you might be thinking, well, 1 loss, how are they ranked lower than many 2-loss teams? Because Texas had 2 losses, Georgia had 2 losses, Penn State had 2. So they're ranked behind a lot of teams with more losses than them. The reason is because their 1 loss, well, there's multiple reasons. First reason, their 1 loss is to Northern Illinois, which just got accepted into the Mountain West, if you want to know how good they are. They're terrible. They're trash. All right? Second reason, their best win is like Navy. I mean, they didn't play a very tough schedule, all right? But when they entered the playoffs, they did not disappoint. They beat Indiana. I mean, it was a 10-point game, but they were in control the entire time. Georgia, domination. Absolute domination. Georgia, Indiana both could not drive the ball down the field. I think Indiana's problem was actually more turnovers at some points, too. But I can't remember. That might be the Penn State SMU game. I mean, Penn State Boise State game. 1 interception. Did they fumble? I can't remember. I can't remember how many times Indiana turned the football over. No, I guess they didn't fumble. So I think I'm thinking, yeah. No, they did fumble. They just didn't lose it. I think I'm thinking about the Penn State Boise State game. But 2 great defensive performances, and then against Notre Dame. Penn State. I was worried my prediction wasn't going to go well, but they put up 17 points in the 4th quarter to edge out a victory in that one to make sure there wasn't a Big Ten versus Big Ten natty. Leonard wasn't great, though, and Jeremiah Love wasn't either. But they got the job done, and that's really all that matters. I would do the same thing I did for Ohio State and, mention all their playoff appearances and stuff that I've watched. But even if I went back to, before I watched, before the playoff era in general, I don't think they've made it. So, that'd be a waste of time to do for Notre Dame. This is a first in a lot of things for Notre Dame. Ohio State's been in this position before, recently, and they just have to win this time. It'll be tomorrow at 7:30. It should be pretty fun. I'm definitely going to watch it. I ain't watched Michigan-Washington, I don't think. But I'm going to watch this game, so don't worry about that. But, I think it's time to make my prediction. I kind of went over both teams. Actually, I guess I should go, overall what I think about them. Notre Dame, elite defense. Pretty great offense, actually. When Riley Leonard can get his feet moving and Jeremiah Love can even just beat Jeremiah Love, this team is really hard to beat. I mean, for a great defense, they put up 40 a few times in their last few games. So, they played Florida State, which doesn't really count. But I think Notre Dame is one of the best teams in the country, which is why they're in the playoffs. I think they just had one really stinky loss, and along with not playing in the conference championship or playing in the conference in general, it's just hard to really gauge how good they've been. But now, they're 1 loss in the national championship. So, you can't discredit that. Ohio State, well, they've had an interesting season. They've probably been the best. They're probably the best looking team in the in the regular season besides Oregon, I'd say. Because even though they did have that loss to Michigan, for the most part, Ohio State looked very strong. Even against top 10 Indiana, they pretty much shut them down completely. And then they were definitely the strongest team in the playoffs. Now, we're not going to get that mixed up. If you want to claim they're not really one of the best teams in the regular season, fine. They're the best team in the playoffs, all right? It's obvious. Elite defense. Offense, I don't think it's as good as the defense, probably, but it's still really, really good, especially when Will Howard decides not to turn the ball over, which he doesn't do that too much with only 10 interceptions in 15 games. The running back duo is absurd. Jeremiah Smith is absurd. It's maybe the best roster this season. My prediction? Well, I would really want to go with the team that defeated Georgia. I'm picking Ohio State. I think they have a better team. They probably have the better coach. I mean, I think they have the best roster. And I don't care about the whole they bought their roster thing. I don't care how they acquired the talent. If the coach can put that talent together and win a national championship, then they deserve the Natty. There's no Mickey Mouse rings, especially in college football. I don't think there's any at all. And that's coming from a Georgia fan who's had to deal with Alabama. And had to deal with Michigan cheating. I don't think there's any Mickey Mouse rings, all right? Unless there's, I mean, even with the cheating, I think that's the most Mickey Mouse one I can think of. And I still wouldn't call it that. But hey, that's just me, all right? But I'm picking Ohio State. Give me Ohio State 31. No, don't give me 31. Give me Ohio State 27-18 over Notre Dame for the win. Official prediction, I'm locking it in. Make sure to drop down your predictions in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe to this channel and my other channel, Goalie Jr., which I'm doing a ECU Dynasty and a Titans franchise. And see you guys next time. Adios.